you need to go to aplusstudents.com. You need to go to the website. Once you're on the website, you need to select math as your subject. This is a grade 1 maths lesson, and the name of the topic for today is comparing. The chapter number, I'll give you the chapter number and the lesson number. The chapter number is 6 and the lesson number is 2. Chapter 6, lesson number 2. Okay, and the name of the lesson is comparing numbers up to 10. Okay, we will be looking at which numbers are greater and which numbers are smaller. Okay, so let's look at the first question. Okay, there are three possibilities that we have. Either the number can be, if I write 3 and 4, right? So can I say over here 3 is less than 4, right? We can say the statement, but we can also say that 4 is greater than 3. Agreed? So both of these statements would be same. But if I have two numbers, let's suppose 5 and 5. So what do we use the sign as? We use the equal sign. Over here we say the number on the left hand side is equals to the number on the right hand side. Agreed? So we will be looking at greater than, less than, and equal. Agreed? So let's look at some examples. Which word makes this statement true such that, if this is the first question given to us and they're asking us to compare 2 and 1, we are given three options over here. Is 2 greater than 1? Is 2 less than 1? Or 2 equals to 1? Which statement would make it true? See, we know that for 2, if this number was 2, that means, let's suppose we have two stars on this side. We're just looking at the quantity. Which side has more? This is always the left hand side and this is the right hand side. So we know that we have more quantity on the which side? The more quantity would be on the left hand side, right? So can we say 2 is greater than 1? Do we agree? Perfect. Thank you, Solomon. We can say 2 is greater than 1. Okay, let's look at another example. The next question says, which statement makes it true such that, question number 2, we have 5 and 5. And the three options given are, these are the options given to us. Okay, so let's look at the options. If both the sides have 5 numbers, if we have 5 on the left hand side and we have 5 on the right hand side, they both should be 5 is equal to 5. Agreed? They both are equal. Because if we have 5 numbers over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 numbers on this side. Okay. In this case, we are comparing the statements. Okay. A statement means a sentence is given to us and we need to see which one is greater or which one is lesser. Perfect. Thank you. Let's try another. Question number 3. And question number 3 says, which word makes the statement true such that in question number 3, they say 5 and the other number is given as 6. Which should be greater, 5 or 6? That means we have how many numbers here? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's compare. If we cancel 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we cancel 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are still left with a 1. Agreed? That means 5 is less than 6. Agreed? But if we change the statement and we say 6 and 5, now what should happen? Okay, for the next question, I'll do it in the next question. If I change the statement and I write it in a different manner, for question number 4, in this we know that it was less than, agreed? But if we write 6 and 5, what should happen? See, if 5 is written before, if 5 is written before 6, then we say 5 is less than 6, right? But if 6 was written before 5, that means if we write the 6 numbers and if we write the 5 numbers, if we remove 5 numbers from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we are left with 1. Agreed? That means we should write this as 6 is greater than 5. Do we agree on this? So depending on which number is written first, we will use the statement. If 5 was written before 6, we will write 5 is less than 6. But if 6 is written before 5, we will write 6 is greater than 5. Agreed? Okay. For the next question, it says, just a moment, let me make a pattern over here so that I just need to copy paste. Okay. For the next question, it says, which word makes this statement true given that in question number 5, the numbers are given as 2 and 4. Which one is greater? Is 2 greater or 4 greater? We can look at this example in a way that if we have 2 circles on this side and if we had 4 circles on this side, so which side will have more circles? We're doing counting by diagrams now. This was 1 and 2. This was 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what can I say? 2 is greater than 4, 2 is less than 4, or 2 is equals to 4? Which would be correct? 2 is not greater, 4 is greater, right? But if the question was other way around, let me just copy this. In question number 6, if the question was in this way, 4 and 2, then it's the other way around. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 1 and 2. So when we compare question number 6 and question number 5, we can say they are asking us for the exactly the same values. We need to compare 2 and 4. Agreed? In question number 6, we are again comparing 4 and 2. We are comparing the same values. The only difference is that in question number 5, 2 is written before 4. And in question number 6, we have 4, then we have 2. The positions of the numbers have been changed. Hi, Precious. So the position has been changed. So which statement would be true for question number 5? 2 is less, right? 2 is a smaller number. Agreed? So we can say 2 is less than 4, right? Agreed? 2 was less than 4. And what about the next statement? 4 and 2? Is 4 less than 2, or 4 equals to 2, or if 4 is greater than 2? In the next statement, question number 6, we know that 4 is a bigger quantity, right? Because in question number 5, we already wrote 2 is less than 4. If we have the same numbers, okay, I'll give you an example. The example is that I, as your teacher, am older than you, right? But if you would say you are younger than me, so both the statements are true, right? Me being your teacher, being older, you being the student, being younger. Both the statements are correct. So in question number 5, it said 2 is less than 4. In question number 6, we would say 4 is larger than 2, right? So what we can say is 4 is greater than 2. Perfect. Okay. Let's move ahead. Let's do another question. Question number 7. In question number 7, what we can say is, if this is a statement given to us, and the numbers given to us were 3 and 7. So which number would be greater? Hi, Semi. Which number is greater? Is 3 greater or 7 greater? If we don't understand, we simply write the numbers 5, 6, and 7. There were 3 numbers on this side. Agreed? So we simply cancel the 3 numbers. That means we still are left with 4. Hi, Deborah. So what can we say over here? Which number is greater? We can say 3. Can we say 3 is greater than 7? No, 3 is less than 7, right? So we say 3 is less than 7. Okay. Why are we doing this is because later on we will be using a mathematical statement for this, a sign for greater than, like the sign we have for less than or equals to. We will try to use a sign that is for the greater than and less than. For the next statement, it says, question number 8. If I have the numbers 6 and 2. Perfect. Thank you, Semi. Thank you, Deborah. If we have the numbers 6 and 2, we know that if we have 6, we can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if we had 2, we simply had two numbers over here. If we cancel out the two numbers by comparing, we're still left with 4. Agreed? So 6 has more value and 2 has lesser value. So when we are comparing two values together, 6 should be more than 2, right? And how do we write more? We say 6 is greater than 2. Perfect. Thank you, Deborah. Okay. Moving ahead. If we have the numbers in question number 9, 4 and 4. Thank you, Sabi. Thank you, Precious. If we have the number 4 and 4, can we say we have 4 numbers on the left side and we had 4 on the right side? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That means both the quantities are equal, right? Because this was 4 and this is also 4. 4 cannot be greater than 4. Perfect. Thank you, Precious. Is equals to. Is equal to. Okay. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Semi. The next question. The very simple question. That's why we are doing a lot of questions over here. Question number 10. Let's see what we have on the website. This is 3, 5, 7, and no, I've not used 7 and 6 and 8. If we have the numbers 6 is being compared to 8. We can say we have 6 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. On the side we had an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. We remove 6 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We are still left with 2, right? Thank you, Sami. Thank you, Precious. So, which quantity is more? 6 is more or 8 is more? When we are comparing 6, we only had 6 values. But when we compared it to an 8, perfect, Deborah, we know that 6 is less than 8. Thank you. But if I change the arrangement of the numbers, in question number 11, if I simply change the arrangement of the numbers, if I write 8 is compared to 6, what should happen over here? Yes. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Deborah. 6 is less than 8. Perfect. But if I change the arrangement in question number 11 and I say, let's compare 8 and 6. If their positions have been changed, 8 is written first now and 6 is written later. That means we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If there were 6 numbers on this side, we can cancel 6 numbers on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 8 was more, right? So we can say 8 is greater than 6. Agreed? So just by the position of the number, if 6 was written first, it becomes less than 8. If 8 is written before 6, then we say 8 is greater than 6, right? In comparison, the position will matter. Okay, let's see question number 11. Thank you, Deb. Okay, the next question says, question number 12. It says, when we compare 3 with a 4, is grade 3 a higher grade or grade 4 a higher grade? 3 would mean we have 1, 2, and 3. 4 would mean 1, 2, 3, and 4. If 3 was this, we cancel 3 numbers over here. We are left with still one value. Semi. Thank you, Deborah. So we know that 3 is less than 4. Agreed? Okay, let's do one more thing. Now let's try to change the statements, okay? Let's try to use different statement over here. Okay, I'll give you an example. Is greater than, less than, and equal, okay? Let's look at an example. If I wrote 5 is greater than 3, right? We agree on this. 5 would always be greater than 3. Agreed? We can say 3 is less than 5. Agreed? And for the last option, we can say we'll take two numbers which are equal. There's a reason why I'm doing this. If I would say 4 is equal to 4. Agreed? So we agree on the first statement that 5 is greater than 3. If I write this statement, 5 was greater than 3. We agree on this. And the next statement we have is 3 is less than 5. There's a reason why I'm doing this. Just a moment. Rather than writing every single time, we can also use a sign for it. There's like we have a sign for equal. Agreed? We had a sign for equal. When we said 4, 4 and 4 were compared, right? We can use a sign over here. We can say they both were equal. Agreed? 4 and 4 were equal. The same way we have a sign for greater than and we have a sign for less than. When we are comparing 5 and 3, see, whichever value is greater, we have a sign. What we say is the alligator, let's consider alligator mouth. The alligator would always open its mouth towards a bigger value, right? So what we say is, if we use this sign over here, we read this as open mouth. The open mouth 5 is greater than 3. The open mouth would always be towards the bigger value. Okay? But if we say 3 and 5, agreed? So in the next example, where would it face? 3 is written before and 5 is written after, right? So the open mouth should be towards 5. You see the difference? In option 1, 5 is greater than 3. This is facing 5. Okay? And 3 is less than, that means the face is not towards 3, it's still towards the bigger value, that is 5. And in the last option, it says equals, that means both sides are equal. Agreed? So if we have this question, let's try to use the sign also. Okay? In question number 13, if I say 7 is compared to 8, which value should be greater? Which value should be greater? If these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 numbers, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So if we try to remove 7 numbers from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7, we're still left with 1, right? So we can say 7 is less than 8. Perfect. Thank you, Deborah. We agree on this, right? 7 was less than 8. But if I add another statement to this, 7, an underline, sorry, 7 and 8. And if I ask you to put a sign over here, can I put an equal sign in the middle? Is 7 equals to 8? No, it is not, because we agreed over here that, what did we agree on? That 7 is less than 8, right? That means if we want to use the sign, the open mouth will always come towards the bigger number. So we can say the open mouth will come towards the bigger number. We can read this as 7 is less than 8, or 8. If we read this way, 7 is less than 8. And if we read this way, we can say 8 is greater than 7. Agreed? We can also use a sign for greater than and a less than. Okay? So let's move ahead. Let's look at some more examples. Just a moment. Question number 14. Okay. Just a moment. Let me copy this. Okay. Okay. So which words make the statement true for question number 14? Such that the numbers given were 10 is compared to 6. Is 10 greater than 6? Is 10 less than 6? Or 10 equals to 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if we remove 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we are still left with the 4, right? 10 minus 6 would be 4. That means 10 is a greater number. Agreed? Do we agree upon it? 10 is greater than 6. But if I would say 10 and 6 was given to us, and we need to use a sign over here. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So what we can say over here is, if we need to use a sign over here, can we say the sign would be, which value is greater? We said 10 is greater, and we know that whichever value is greater, the open mouth will come towards the bigger value, right? 10 would be greater than 6. Perfect. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Solomon. Okay. If we look at the same question, and if we say, we take the state question the other way around. Just a moment, please. Okay. If they're saying, which of these values are greater? Let's do a few questions from the test as well. Question number 15. If I would say, if we compare 6 and 9, 6 is to be compared with 9. So we know that if this was 6 and this was 9, we already know that 9 is more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 is 3 more than 6, right? Perfect. Semi, please don't. Okay, that means we know that 6 was less than. But if we need to put the sign, I told you that this, the large, perfect. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about the sign at the bottom. If 6 and 9 were written and we need to use the sign greater than, less than, or equal sign. So can we say 6 is less than 9? So I told you the mouth will be always open towards the larger value. Okay. Okay, 6 is less than 9. So if we have to use a sign for this, we write in this manner. If you have to use a statement, so we write 6 is less than 9. Agreed? For the next question, it says, which statement makes it true? Let me just copy this. Okay. Okay. If this is our given question, okay, after this, let's do the test. Okay. If I say 6 is compared to 6, 6 is compared to 6. So which value should be greater? Is the 6 on the left hand side be greater, or the 6 on the right hand side be greater? If both the numbers are same, right? If any two students out of you have the same age group, so no one is older, right? they would have the same age, right? That means if this was 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, this was 1, 2, 3. If we cancel the 6, we are left with nothing on either sides, right? That means both the numbers were equal. Agreed? So we can say 6 is equals to 6. And we also know that there's a sign for equal. We can write this as is equals to, right? The value on the left side is equals to the value on the right side. Agreed? Okay, let's try some questions from the test. Just a moment, please. I would need, okay. They are giving us a few samples. I'll just copy it over here. Okay. Okay, your favorite numbers are here. Okay, which word makes the statement true? This is question number 1 from the test. Is 7 greater than 6 or is 6 less than 7? Can you give me the answer in this form? Question 1A, question 1B, or question 1C, right? If we have these three options, option A, option B, or option C, 7 cannot be equals to 6. Okay, let's not look at these options. Let's look at the option A, B, and C. This is part of the question, right? If we are asking us to compare 7 and 6, 7 is perfect. Option 3. Perfect, Deborah. Option C. So we know that 7 is greater than 6, right? Okay. Let's try another. For the next question, they're saying, which words make the statement true such that the numbers given are, these are the numbers that are given to us. These are the options given to us. And the numbers are 2 and 1. This is our question number 2. Option A, option B, and option C. What we can see over here is they have rearranged the options. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you, Precious. What about question number 2? Which number is greater, 2 or 1? Is 2 greater than 1 or 1 is less than 2? So which statement would we use? 1 is less than 2 or 2 is greater than 1? We will look at which number is written before, right? Perfect. Thank you. So since 2 is written before 1, we will say this is greater. Great. Let's move ahead to question number 3. The numbers given are 6 and 8. The option is option A, option B, and option C. So we would say we would say 6 is greater than 8. No, it's not. 6 is equals to 8. No, it's not. It's 6 less than 8. So which statement would make it true? Yes, perfect. Thank you. We know that 6 is a smaller value compared to 8. That means we say 6 is less than 8. 6 is less than. Okay. If both the numbers are 5, just a moment, let's compare. The next question, question number 4, what they're saying is if both the numbers are 5, then which statement should be true? This is our question number 4. And the options were A, B, and C. So which should be greater? Yes, they are just giving the answer in option number C. You cannot help it, right? 5 was equal. Thank you. Is equal. It is not greater than 5. It is not less than 5. The number on the left hand side is equal to the number on the right hand side because they both are 5. Agreed? Thank you, Solomon. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Deborah. Let's have a look at the next question. For the next question, they're saying which word makes the statement true? Question number 5. If this is like option number 5, and the options are A, B, and C. 5 should be, is 3 greater or 3 less? Is 3 greater or 3 less than 5? Is 3 greater than 5 or is 3 less than 5? Perfect. Thank you, Deborah. 3 is less than 5. What about the next question? The options are given as the question says we are comparing 9 and 4, and the options are is equal, is greater, or is less than. Question number 6 should be we know that 9 is more than 4, right? Yes, it should be C. No, 9 is, sorry, my bad. 9 is not equal, right? Thank you, Solomon. 9 was not equal. 9 is not less than, but 9 is greater. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you, Deborah. Okay. Please do try the remaining questions. They're very simple. Okay. Simple question, just comparing the numbers. Okay. Thank you so much. Best of luck. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.